Two gyms that opened in defiance of the governor's stay-at-home order are getting a final warning from the state attorney general's office tonight. Close now or you will be sued.
King 5's Kristen Ayers tells us tonight only one of the gyms is now planning to close.
You wouldn't know by looking inside Northwest Fitness Company that there's a lawsuit to try to shut it down. People are still coming and going and working out. Inside Northwest Fitness Company in Puyallup, workouts continued today, even as Governor Jay Inslee called it and PA Fitness in Arlington out for defying the stay-at-home order.
These gyms right now are presenting a clear and present danger to the citizens of our state, and they need to follow this law.
By the end of the day, PA Fitness in Arlington had backed down, saying they would close today to avoid fines. They plan to file a lawsuit later this week. A complaint lodged by the state attorney general's office said both gyms had been warned repeatedly that they must close. At Northwest Fitness, the complaint said an investigator observed people in the gym working out without observing social distancing or wearing masks. The owners falsely informed the investigator the gym was not open. Cease and desist letters to both gyms issued one final warning. Unless you follow the direction of the governor and close your business within 48 hours, we will have no choice but to file a lawsuit against you and seek monetary penalties. The owners of Northwest Fitness Company did not respond when we reached out for a comment. People who live in Puyallup are split.
We were very proud of them to take a stand against we call him Dictator Inslee.
And it's almost kind of an irony that they're going to protest at their own risk of contracting the virus. I mean, how does that make sense?
A court can fine both gyms $2,000 per violation of the Consumer Protection Act, and the city of Arlington has warned PA Fitness they could revoke their license. In Puyallup, Kristen Ayers, King 5 News.